If there's one thing we rarely do on this channel is talk about Primarchs, but that's all going to change today because Games Workshop have just put out a brand new article. It's all dedicated to the Scouring. They confirm that's going to be a brand new series, and in it, they confirm some big events which we don't have a lot of lore from, which is going to lead into some big questions about vanishing Primarch. So let's jump in, let's look at it, let's discuss it, let's theorize, and of course, let's get waffling. So let's jump over to this window. Again, this is over on the Warhammer community website. I've actually just listened to this video. It's 18 minutes of Chris Wright talking about the Scouring and what they want to happen in the Scouring. Absolutely fantastic. Listen, go and listen to it. It's absolutely amazing. But there's something in the article that really caught my eye. I'm sure a lot of people in chat are going to give me, well, a lot of people in comments are going to give me a lot of crap in the comment section. But if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's this paragraph and it states, expect grand battles, bloody revenge, and political intrigue as the series unfolds across the early years of the 31st millennium. We will discover what really happened within the Iron Cage. The Iron Cage? What? This is all chaos propaganda from what I've heard. I've heard that what's been told about the Iron Cage is pure made-up nonsense. So I'm glad we're going to get it cleared up. I'm glad we're going to get the true story, the true narrative, because all I've seen lately is fake news. It goes on to say, oh, where certain carefree outriders disappeared to, which again is a massive hint to Jagged Tycan and how he disappeared into the webway. Or that's how I'm taking it anyway. Is he another, like, carefree outrider out there who disappeared? I don't think so. Dawn, Dawn disappeared. He vanished. He's not dead. Jagged Tycan vanished. Vulcan vanished, but we know Vulcan came back with the Beast of Rises series, and then he vanished again. Of course, Korax vanished. Lehman Russ vanished. There's a lot of people who have vanished. Trajan Valoris, not Trajan Valoris, Valdor, Trajan Valoris, he's 40k, Constantine Valdor, he vanished, right? There's a lot of big people in this series that are going to vanish and just literally disappear, which hopefully we're going to get all these questions answered, which then could lead into bigger things, which we'll just discuss in a second. Then it goes and say, who knows, but if you pre-order this weekend, you'll be taking the first steps towards finding out. And yes, I've actually had the opportunity to read this book, and if I just swap over to the big screen, you can see this. Look at that for a transition, right? Absolutely amazing. So yes, I was very, very lucky to get my hands on this edition of Ashes of the Imperium. Lucky enough for me, there was a vendor out there who sold it early by mistake. I managed to get my hands on it. I read it. I've done a summary over on my channel, but what I would recommend to people, don't really go into that summary thinking that's the entire book. I would definitely 110% recommend everyone to go out and buy this, get it on Audible. I'm going to re-listen to it on Audible because the book is that good. Chris Wright is probably one of the best Black Library authors they have at this moment in time. Anything he touches literally turns into gold dust. This book, for me, I see it as a 9 out of 10. There's a lot of political maneuver in here, Dawn, Primarchs. Again, I'm not going into too many spoilers, but there's some massive things that this book leads into, which I do want to cover in separate books. I've seen people mention certain things about Dawn and everything like that. Hey, Valrak, have you seen this? What Dawn's done and stuff? What I'll say to people is read the book. There's so much more in the book about everyone's narrative and how they see the Imperium, how they want to see it, right? Since the Emperor is on the Golden Throne. There's some massive bloody things in here. Now, since this has been confirmed as a series of books, and as I've mentioned, there's going to be some big events that's happening through this, I think this is the reason why another big book has been delayed. And that big book is Pandemonium. I think what we're seeing right now and what we're about to see is the foundations of something that is massively happening in the Eisenhorn, in the Ravenor, in the Beckwin series. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's some people that may be reading at the moment, but the King in Yellow, it's all surrounding stuff around that, and I am going to do a separate video, hopefully this week sometime, talking more about that, because again, I think the foundations are being laid now, and we've all been wondering, we've all been sitting back thinking, why is Pandemonium been delayed? Yes, there's some Amazon speculation out there, which I do think is part of it, but I think they want to tell this story and get certain events out so it links up to that story, so it all makes sense in the end, because there's some big characters that are around now which could be changing the current event of the 40k lore. Again, if you're not up to date with what's going on, Pandemonium, there's supposed to be something so big in there that even Dan Abnett was surprised GW let him do it. Like, this is narrative changing lore. He literally said that in an interview. He's not allowed to talk about it, or he's saying he's not going to talk about it anymore, any more events. I think he's been put on the leash by GW because there's been so much speculation, so much talk about it, so much theorizing about it. So yes, I really do think this is in connection with Pandemonium. Again, pure fan theory for me, but I think all the cards are starting to stack, all the dominoes are starting to fall in line with this brand new Scouring series. Now, just before I wrap up the video, one thing they didn't mention is how long this series is going to be. Ashes of the Imperium is book 1. I'm hoping it's not as big as a Horus Heresy, because a Horus Heresy had a lot of filler in there. Basically, they were milking us, right? They were milking the Space Marines as they always do. They're still doing it today, really. Like, they put out the Drop Type Massacre book, which, to be fair, is an absolutely fantastic book. I would recommend everyone to go out to do that, because it does fill in a big gap of what actually happened in proper detail, behind the scenes and everything like that. I actually rate it like a 10 out of 10. I really do. I think it's one of the best Horus Heresy books out there. So definitely go and get it. But how long is this series going to be? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm hoping that it's short and sweet. It's short, sweet, gets to the root of the information. But like I said, there's some massive events, right? It's Gilliman nearly going to war with Dawn, like another mini civil war, like over the Codex Astartes. You've got like the Iron Cage, maybe the fall of Caliban is going to be covered in that, right? A lot of big things. Valdor's disappearance, Jakatai Khan they mentioned, like him disappearing. Again, a lot of big events are got to be covered in this series, and I'm massively looking forward to it. Anyway, enough waffling from me. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Sorry if my voice is a little bit off. I've got the man flu, gents, right? I'm going down. Give me something for the pain and let me die, right? That's where I'm at this moment in time. Love you. Have a great day, evening, night, way around the world, and bye-bye.